But I like this version a little bit better because you can hear what the people are saying to him around him when it's happening. There's a few different angles, but I think this one's my favorite one. But it's also important to see all of the angles because they all kind of reveal something that the other one doesn't. So just interesting, and that's why I'm going to show you all three.
Bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Okay, Mitch? Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to the press? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Okay.
Go ahead, John.
I'll take it. Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
So, that's kind of hard to watch, honestly. I don't know exactly what's going on with him, but that seems like there was some kind of stroke or seizure or combination of something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but that doesn't appear to be anyone fit for leadership at the level of responsibility that a person in his role has, right? Which I want to point out in this scenario is how the right or Republicans or conservatives or whatever you want to call it, but they've been saying that Joe Biden isn't mentally fit for the job. We see him misspeak all the time. His butt's been wiped, if you've seen that video. Many instances that don't express strong leadership, especially at a presidential level. And, conservatives call that out. And it's pretty consistent. And like I said, the same thing with Fetterman. It's nothing personal against either of the two people. It's just the job requires certain parameters, certain capabilities and abilities. And when you can't do these things, you should be replaced or fired. And that's just how it goes. A lot of these people, they keep these jobs in government, but in the real world, in business, they would be fired or made to retire, forced to retire, however it works, right? And so it's just weird how we prop these people up when they're in the most important jobs that literally affect everyone else's lives. And all I have to do is just replace them with somebody that's fit for the job. It's not like they're the only person that can do it, and that's one thing that you have to say about McConnell is as long he's going to run and they're going to prop him up because he just generates dollars for funding, right? You know what I mean? He's been there forever. So they're going to prop him up, and it's, campaign funding and stuff. Now tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't see how, at this stage of his life, how he's the most fit person for this position. His history aside and whatever. And that's the consistency you get out of the right is here we are saying that this leader in the conservative, this leader on the Republicans, here I am saying, and a bunch of people saying, that this person is not fit for this role and should be replaced. And that's the same thing that we say about the two Democrats. So it's not about a Republican-Democrat thing. It's about just being fit for the job. And, we have age requirements. You have to be so old for these jobs. You have to be a certain age for these jobs. And so there should also be a cutoff at the top end of that. If we're taking away folks' driver's licenses at a certain age, or retirement is 65 or whatever it is now. They keep raising retirement age. But, if they're past retirement age, should they be making government decisions? Should they be making decisions on how to spend our tax dollars and represent us to foreign interests and things like that? I don't think so. So, I don't know. But that's this video, and then we'll get into and then we'll check out this other video right here. Got to go over to Twitter for it, but it's a two-parter. See how this one So I see how this one, you can't understand what any of the people are saying, but you get to see that whole group of people that are over to the right side. The one guy runs in, kind of jumps in behind to assist. You see the woman in the pink or red, whatever color that is. You see her facial expression change when she realizes that something's not going on right. Something's not right. I don't know. Let's just continue. We'll finish this one out, and then I'll show the next little clip.
So this is
Okay, so there's that, and then here, let's check this other one out real fast. One thing I noticed when watching this third one is I believe the guy that just took the podium and started talking is still talking. You can hear him in the background. The guy that took the podium in the video just before this. So it wasn't too long before they walked him out of there to get him the medical attention or whatever it is that he needed. But in my opinion, they still waited too long. How come they could just stood him off to the side for a second? They didn't actually like get him out of there. I know that you don't want to make a scene, but frankly, the scene has been made when he did what he did, and he just needs medical attention. We get the guy the assistance that he needs. Like, that's the priority. It should be, at least in my opinion. But last couple seconds, he's just walking off. I didn't even need to show that. But let's check out the article that goes along with it. See if we can catch any more details there in the background. This is a article from the Gateway Pundit. Shocking video. Mitch McConnell stops speaking, freezes during Senate press conference, pulled away from the podium. U.S. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell froze and appeared unwell while speaking at a press conference before being dragged away from the podium by his staff. The 81-year-old was ushered away from the podium by staff members after an extended silence. At some point, I really think it's important that we have a retirement age for these folks where they just can't go beyond it. You know what I mean? It's just not responsible. It's elderly abuse. That guy should have been taken to a hospital or taken to a medic or nurse, whatever they have on staff there, immediately. They shouldn't have pushed him off to the side and tried to play politics and put on a happy face or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, put on a good face. I don't know. It's just weird. Well, just my guess. I'm not a doctor, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't actually black the whole scenario out. That's Minnie. So McConnell appeared to have been physically assisted as he walked back behind closed doors. NBC News reports, a few minutes later, McConnell walked back to the press conference by himself. When asked about his health, he said he was fine. And finally, it looks like we have the full video. So let's check that out, and then I'll wrap up.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're on a path to finishing the NDA this week. It's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Are you good? Mitch?
okay, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
Go ahead, John.
I'll take it. Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
And this is where he actually comes back out, I believe.
Could you address what happened here at the start of the press conference, and was it related to your injury from earlier this year where you suffered a concussion? Is that
I'm fine.
you're fine, you're fully able to
Yeah.
do your job?
Mr. Leader, can I just get your reaction to what appears to be Hunter Biden's plea deal falling apart? What are your thoughts?
Well, there are a lot of people in the House who are better lawyers than I am, and it's a bit
So it's really weird. His ear is super shiny. What's up with that? Why is his ear all shiny? But yeah, his response is not adequate in my opinion. They asked him what happened to him. I'm fine is not a good enough answer. He needed to give some kind of clarification. I mean, it happened in front of everybody. He's going to have to answer these questions if he wants to be taken seriously moving forward. And if they can't face this reality and answer that question, then he certainly will need to step down. The problem is, it's the Republicans who are typically the ones that will step down in this scenario, whereas you ain't going to see Fetterman or Biden step down or anything, right? They'll stick it out to the end until their weekend at Bernie's. Like,
I'm not sure what happened this morning, but to the extent that it looks like the administration is treating Democrats more favorably than Republicans, I can understand why people in the House are upset about it. Yeah.
well, he seems to be at least able to speak on his own and answer questions. But head injuries are weird, and this could be a result of him falling down the stairs earlier this year and getting a concussion or whatever that the person asked about. So I guess from here we get to find out how the Republicans are going to treat a Fetterman/Biden of their own, right? And do they stand on their principles, or do they make excuses like the other side does, right? With that, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm closing in on 500 subscribers, and it would be great if you joined today. If not, maybe next time. I'll see you.